Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome once again to a Tabletop RPG News Roundup, this time for March 29th, 2025, where I take a look back at the week in tabletop gaming news and bring you the highlights, as well as a focus on indie and small press PDFs. Once again, I'm sorry I'm going to have to forgo the usual graphics, I guess, up there, and make it short and quick. My family's health issues have been keeping me from focusing on video production once again. I apologize for that. In fact, my mother is incredibly ill right now, so I'm hoping that it's nothing serious, but it's one of those things where I'm very distracted right now. But I will bring you the news, or at least the news roundup, hopefully. For now, let's get into tabletop RPG news. I'm not sure how much bearing this has, but it looks like Wizards of the Coast has decided to ditch the classic Larry Elmore artwork for the Dragonlance series in favor of modern digital art, some of which is extremely questionable quality. Apparently, this was done a while back before the last round of Dragonlance stuff, and some people indeed noticed. Apparently, Larry Elmore himself was more than willing to do the covers of the new Dragonlance material, but it was turned down. And I understand it's probably a cost-cutting measure, as they're trying to boil down their business into a bare minimum that they can do to make money, while simultaneously angering everybody that would spend money on them. Interesting enough. The general consensus online is that not having Larry Elmore, or at least attempting to find an artist of similar pedigree to do the work, has been a huge letdown and is continuing to be a huge letdown for a lot of fans that they may have been counting on to buy the Dragonlance stuff. So we'll have to see how that goes going forward in the future, whether it works out for them or not. Then it looks like Pathfinder and Paizo are looking to return Rune Lords content to the Pathfinder role-playing game. Whether this will be material involving new Rune Lords or a rework of their classic adventure path into 2nd edition, Rise of the Rune Lords, or something like that, is yet to be seen. However, they are teasing artwork about it, so keep an eye out for it if you're a fan of that particular bit of lore. I know a lot of people are. Onwards towards minor and PDF releases, it looks like Wizards of the Coast has gathered a lot of their old Greyhawk material into a series of bundled PDFs. They're now available on DriveThruRPG. There is Adventures in Greyhawk, which includes a set of 1st and 2nd edition adventures set in Greyhawk, including things like classics like Tome of Horrors, The Temple of Elemental Evil, and so forth. Then there's Exploring Greyhawk, which includes setting supplements such as Greyhawk Wars, Greyhawk The Adventure Begins, The City of Greyhawk, and more from the 2nd edition era, as well as some 1st edition material. And they also have New Era of Greyhawk, which includes the 3rd edition and 3.5 material that was produced for Greyhawk around that time. It's interesting to see the city setting material bundled for ease of use again. I actually am honestly very much in favor of this rather than them trying to rework it. Thank you for being cheap for once, WotC. You're actually bringing the classics back this time. See how long that lasts. Moving onward, it looks like Frog God Games has released a set of bundles containing their material for their Northland Saga 2023 edition for a number of systems. That's one of their classic adventures, and they reworked it back a couple years ago. They have a bundle with it, a version for 5th edition, for Castles and Crusades version, for Old School Essentials, for Swords and Wizardry, and for Pathfinder 1st edition. So if you use a particular system, there you go. Into the Unknown is a 5th edition compatible adventure available in print on demand, dealing with a world that has been fractured by nightmares and turned into a shattered veil kind of area. It is a complete campaign taking characters from levels 5 to 10. Loot Tavern Publishing has a number of small monster hunts available for 5th edition to be compatible with Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting. So these are all like Heliana's hunts. Each one is a self-contained little monster hunt. There is Shadow the Broodmother, Dread and Breakfast, Mecha Koboldzilla, Polyhedrus, Tarchaeology, The Veiled Lady, A Tale of Two Tales, Dreamweaver, Reign of Iron, and Hair Raising. Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks is a 5th edition 5th edition compatible adventure inspired by some classic adventures, especially one classic adventure, in dealing with a mysterious set of creatures in a distant mountain ruin. It is compatible with both 5th edition and Esper Genesis, which is an expansion for 5th edition. I suppose it does wear its inspiration on its sleeve if you're not aware of Barrier Peaks, that kind of thing. Anyway, moving onward. City of Seven Seraphs, Verix, is a 5th edition compatible set of new arachnoid playable creatures, along with various feats and backgrounds to go with them. Codex Automatica is a 5th edition compatible bestiary dealing with various automatons, war machines, and other mechanical nightmares. The Evolving Bestiary DM Edition Part 2 includes a large number of monsters for 5th edition that are arranged into families, groups of creatures that are linked by common traits. Then there's the Fisherman class for 5th edition, by the same developer, which includes its own fishing system. Steed, a faithful and familiar guide to 5th edition. Steeds is a class system with a specialization in other rule systems for converting mounts into companions that can grow with a character. Tome of Travelers is a 5th edition compatible set of character options, including a new playable race options, new subclasses, a new full class with 5 subclasses of its own, various new spells, along with a firearm system, and more. Acacia's Black Book of Beasts is a dark fantasy supplement with various subclasses, 2 new playable races, various new feats, spells, monsters, magic items, and so on. Assorted Notes from the Unearthly Archive is another 5th edition compatible collection of player material, including things such as a Gun Mage Wizard, Oath of the Harvest Paladin, and so forth. Characteristics for Shadowdark Crawlers is a supplement for the Shadowdark RPG, moving onward, that deals with new actions, new advanced class talents, and much more to help flesh out or build your character. Eye of the Watcher, I'm looking at a box down there, is a Shadowdark compatible RPG science fantasy adventure for 0 to 1st level characters. Get in that box because it's messing with me. That deals with the Lost Empire. Anyway. Then there's The Lost People, another Shadowdark adventure dealing with ancient ruins deep within the earth. Now I don't have a box on my feet. Forest Adventures is yet another Shadowdark supplement, this one dealing with a few new player options, as well as new spells and many forest-themed monsters, as well as new treasures and new locations. Crawling North Volume 2 is a Dungeon Crawl Classics compatible zine that offers new spells, a new Seer class, and more. RPG Pundit Presents, the Old School Companion, is number 3, is another entry into a series of medieval authentic material gathering stuff from the latest issues of RPG Pundit Presents series into a single compilation, generally compatible with old school systems, but especially with their Lion and Dragon RPG. The bestiary of Cryptofauna for Barbaric 2nd Edition is exactly what it says in the title. A set of 40 new and returning monsters for the Barbaric 2nd Edition system, which I covered a while back, which I enjoyed more than the 1st edition, which is interesting. Warlock Compendium 4 is another group of material, as well as new basic and advanced careers and so forth for the Warlock RPG. The Book of Masteries is an expansion for the Black Oath Entertainment's Caernathalis. It includes various new abilities, a couple of new masteries, rebalancing existing mastery abilities, and a new Forge of Souls system. Puzzles for Your Adventures is available in print on demand as a system-agnostic supplement with various puzzles that you can throw into various adventures in fantasy systems. A Ring and a Thief is an adventure for the Symbarum series system, and it involves the investigation of a robbery. Then there's Dark Souls, the role-playing game, the Tome of Journeys, which is a 3rd book in the Dark Souls RPG range, offering, I think, new creatures, items, tales, and so forth. I think this one deals with actual adventures or something similar. Savage World has the Golden Isle, which is a pirate-based adventure, including a trip to track down a treasure map, or rather the location thereof. Chaosium has Cthulhu by Gaslight, Keeper's Guide, which is essentially the Keeper's Guide for the Victorian era in Call of Cthulhu. Sorry, I'm having to check messages because I'm expecting news about... I'm actually not expecting news about my mother, but there is the chance that I get it in, so yeah. I should cut this out, but I probably not. Then there's Cthulhu Once Upon a Time, which is interesting. It looks to mingle various fairy tales with Cthulhu through 4 scenarios. Arkham Horror RPG, Arkham Mysteries, offers 3 adventures to run with the Arkham Horror RPG. Then there's Spy, 2nd Edition, a modern-day RPG where you play a covert agent for a secret organization. They also have the Mission Book, which provides various scenarios to play with that system. The Last Wardens, Tabletop RPG, is a Year Zero compatible RPG set in the 70s where you're facing various chaotic mutations spawned by the Great Drift. It's a sort of retro cosmic grindhouse horror setting. Then there's Fallout 2D20 NPC Pack 4, Mariposa Military Base, which also offers various super mutant and similar style beings from said military base. Mongoose has Reach Adventure 9, the Hellward Heist for Traveler. An adventure has the travelers fighting alongside a rebellion. D6 Forge Frontier Space is another entry into the D6 Forge set of systems. This one deals with space opera-themed adventures. Finally, there is Time of Death, a mothership RPG horror scenario dealing with an underground outpost that has gone radio silent. And with that, we'll look into crowdfunding campaigns. Remember, contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product mentioned here. It's not an endorsement. It is for informational purposes only, except when I say it's an endorsement, which is very rare. Anyway, Kings of Sun and Snow is to be a 5th edition-based tomb crawl set of dungeons with 10 or more dungeons, along with tools to generate your own, with monster spells, traps, and so forth, suited for higher-level play, which is interesting. Assault on the Tower of the White King is to be a gothic horror RPG adventure for 5th edition, and is the second in the Forsaken Vale series. Hedge Maze of the Crescent Queen will be a Fae-themed adventure for 5th edition with various monsters, NPCs, magic items, and a memory loss system. Magica Valley will be an adventure module compatible with 5th edition Pathfinder 1st edition, as well as various BX-based fantasy RPGs available in both English and Italian. It is set amid the mountains of Italy. Zan's Adventures has the Mad Druid and the Great Oak, which will be a 5th edition adventure module dealing with an evil druid and a magic oak of immense size. The Fungus Among Us will be a 5th edition one-shot adventure shooter for... it's a one-shot adventure suited for lower-level characters. I don't know why I said shooters, because my autocorrect said it like that in the script. Anyway, it deals with a quiet village where villagers have vanished and a strange fungus is creeping ever closer around the village. Bestiarix, Lore of Creatures, is to be a collection of various unique creatures with stat sheets, lore, text, and more for 5th edition. A compendium of familiars and companions for 5th edition is to be exactly what it says, a selection of various creatures that can be summoned, bonded, and befriended. Shadows of Eternity is to be a collection of events and items for 5th edition and similar systems dealing with very ancient things. Complete Town 6 will be focused on a floating city built up with maps, unique buildings, and NPCs, adventure hooks, and more for 5th edition. Rycroft will be a cemetery crawl for old school essentials in a similar BX system, suited for levels 1 and up. It looks like Dark Wizard Games is looking to fund a couple new soft covers. This time Sword of the Worm's Bane and Vigilante Subway. I think they'll be suited for 1st edition compatible systems. They usually have a 5th edition format one available as well. In the Maximum Mayhem Dungeon series, and I think this Kickstarter also lets you grab some of their PDFs from the past. I enjoy their stuff. It's kind of over the top, kind of fun, old school style. Anyway, moving onward, Vermilion, The Sick and the Dead will be a Savage Worlds compatible set of adventures for the Vermilion setting, comprising a sandbox campaign. And finally, there's Alien the RPG Evolved Edition, which will be an expanded and updated set of core rules, as well as a new cinematic scenario for the Alien RPG from Free League Publishing. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. As always, links will be below. Thank you for your patience these last few months, especially the last few weeks. It's been one thing after another. My mother got sick. She started getting better. Then my father got sick, and I got sick, and everybody came down with the COVID because of an emergency room visit. And then as we started to recover, my mom started getting sick again. So it's been one issue after the other. And I'm appreciative of everyone who sent well wishes. I am very, very sorry that I've not had the opportunity to record more videos. I've got it lined up. I'm going to be doing Treasures of the Savage Frontier and some more Planescape on the secondary channel. And I've got reviews that are ready to record. I just haven't had time to record and edit them. But I'll try and get them up as soon as everybody's well. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.